What's up, everyone? Jelani and Alex are back again for another week of an ICO review. This week we're going to be talking about EOS. It's one of the longest running ICOs to date, and it's going to be really fun. But before we begin, I just want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Orablock.com. They are a new platform that are designing a way for cryptocurrency traders to trade and keep track of their trades, so that when tax season comes around, you'll be organized and you won't be getting fined and all that good stuff. So if you want to check them out, go to orablock.com. They're also having a $1,000 giveaway, trying to get some new users on the platform, so completely free to sign up, so go do that. The link to that is down below. Anyway, Alex, how are you doing this week? Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I think it's an important message: pay your taxes, kids.
Yeah.
In crypto, and as I think both you and I are pretty into poker right now, so that's not our favorite activity, but something important to do.
Right.
But yeah, EOS looks pretty neat. I know nothing about it, so I'm looking to learn.
Yeah. So let's get into it. So it's literally one of the longest running ICOs. It started on June 26th of 2017, and the end date is June 11th, 2018. So about 350 days, going strong. They've raised, let's see if we scroll down here. So far they raised 3,348 ETH, which is crazy because earlier today it was about like 900. So,
So what changed today?
I think that they are releasing. I think it's an upgrade, I believe. Yeah, testnet has arrived. So it's basically a new way to test. So, what EOS is, I'll just kind of give you a brief synopsis of what it is. It's basically a way for dApp developers, and if you don't know what dApp stands for, it's decentralized apps. And that's like the new wave, I guess you can say, of the future. Just applications on mobile and desktop that are decentralized. And EOS is a infrastructure that allows those developers to build on top of their platform that they're building out. And the reason why they ran this ICO so long is because they wanted to make sure that everyone could get a chance to get on board and not have congestion on the Ethereum network. So the abstract states the EOS.io software introduces a new blockchain architecture designed to enable vertical and horizontal scaling of decentralized applications. This is achieved by creating an operating system-like construct upon which applications can be built. The software provides accounts, authentication, databases, asynchronous communication, and the scheduling of applications across hundreds of CPU cores or clusters. The resulting technology is a blockchain architecture that scales to millions of transactions per second, eliminates user fees, and allows for quick and easy development of decentralized applications. Now, if you're new to this, you're probably like, what did he just say? So I'm going to break it down for you. So the first sentence, because I know like a lot of white papers you read are like, wait, what did they just say? And that's one thing that I look for, is like I try to break it down, and if it's really too complex, I'm probably not going to invest because I don't understand it. And if I don't understand it, then I don't know where my money is going. And I think that's a good point of reference for everyone out there. If you don't understand the white paper to like a really minimal degree, and you just don't get it, then I would don't say invest in it because you don't understand it. So to break it down, the first sentence is the EOS.io software introduces a new blockchain architecture designed to enable vertical and horizontal scaling of decentralized applications. So basically what that means is they're going to be using technology of vertical and horizontal scaling, which allows EOS to be expected to scale to millions of transactions per second. And this is absolutely huge because there's a lot of congestion on the Ethereum network, where, I don't know if you guys are aware, but like when, what is it, like Crypto Kitties or whatever the hell came out, Crypto Cats, whatever.
That was quite a day, yeah.
Yeah, like, I think you went through it, like the Ethereum network was really slow. And that's one of the faults of Ethereum is that the transaction speeds can get clogged up, and EOS is trying to eliminate that. So that first point is important because they plan on being able to scale vertical and horizontally, so that dApp developers won't have that problem. They can have millions of users on their dApp, and there will be no type of congestion. So that point I love. I love that. The second sentence is, this is achieved by creating an operating system-like construct upon the dApp on which applications can be built. So basically that's just saying it's a hosting platform. Think of it as, I don't know, if you ever ran a website like Bluehost, they are a hosting platform where you can put your website on. So EOS is the same thing. It's the platform where you can build on top of, so you can make those applications. I don't know if you're seeing this, Alex, on my screen, but do you see like ETH is like the ETH received just keeps going up?
That's good. That's promising, right? I do have the website open on my screen too. So
yeah,
it's at 3361. So I think it climbed out 20 at Ether.
Yeah,
in like the 5 minutes we've been filming.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Very interesting.
Yeah. And then the next sentence is, the software provides accounts, authentication, databases, asynchronous communication, and the scheduling of applications across hundreds of CPU cores or clusters. So basically it's just saying that there are going to be minimal fees. Basically, there's going to be no fees on top of this platform. And I'll get into how it works in a second. And then they're saying that the resulting technology that they're building is going to be able to scale because the transactions are millions of transactions per second. And I think that's like a really huge factor, because I feel like a lot of blockchain technologies out there are saying they want to have a faster network. So
absolutely,
I wouldn't be surprised if like a lot of ICOs say that. So like that's not like a major like, oh my god, I need to invest, because I feel like you can literally go to like any top 50 coin, they're probably saying the same things, like we want to get faster transactions. And so I feel like that's like something that people always say. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously EOS is still in like their, I guess, infancy. They don't really have a quote unquote working product yet. And I feel like maybe after the ICO stage, they definitely will. Let's see. So basically how it's going to work is you need tokens to use the platform. So you have to kind of have EOS to even use it. And the thing about it is it's a proof of stake platform, and they use the proof of stake algorithm. So if you don't know what that means, it basically means the people who own the most coins have the most say, essentially. And they say that that's the reason why they're able to scale to like millions of transactions. Basically, EOS token holders can vote of the block producers, which can mine blocks and assign on major events in the EOS ecosystem. And how do you feel about that? I think that you're an investor in some coins that are proof of stake, and some people think that it can either be really good or like really bad, because the people who own the most coins can dictate how the company's essentially going to operate. So I don't know.
Yeah, so I guess overall thoughts on the project. It's a very interesting idea, right? And I don't know if I mentioned this in like our channel intro, but I come from a computer science background. I have a master's degree in computer science, and so a lot of these concepts are similar to major changes that are happening in the software world, and especially the data storage world. And so like the idea of easily scalable solutions is huge when processing large data sets. And so if viewers are familiar with things like Hadoop and that kind of stuff that are large ways to, or distributed ways to process data, if this can be scalable for people to develop distributed applications upon, that seems like a great way to, kind of make the network more efficient, or make whatever network your application is going to run on more efficient.
Right.
And that's kind of the major drawback that we've seen from Bitcoin and at times Ethereum, is that scalability has been a major issue.
Right.
And so this seems to aim to be kind of like an Ethereum 2.0, but a lot more than that, right? They want to like essentially give a toolkit or a basic skeleton package to people that want to develop these applications, so that they have like kind of software already pre-built that they can just kind of build upon, right? And this is where I'm going to put my database. This is, how I'm going to set up my software and that kind of stuff.
Right.
It reminds me a bit of like AWS and like major web hosting services, that kind of stuff, which you mentioned also. And in terms of proof of stake, I think it's an important concept in cryptocurrency. I don't know if I'm like pro proof of stake or anti proof of stake. I guess my thoughts is it just exists.
Right.
And as long as you don't run into a situation where, as you mentioned, like a large portion of the currency is owned by a small group of people, then it really shouldn't be an issue, right? But if that's something like if I'm not sure what the percentages are at this point, but like if it comes out that like 90% of the tokens are going to be owned by the application owners themselves, or like the EOS development team themselves, that's an issue, right? Because then there's going to be like this large central group of people that own the coin. But that doesn't sound like it's the case, and that's not often the case.
Well, they say that the project will distribute 90% of its tokens to the investors.
Right, and that sounds actually like a lot more than than I'm used to hearing about for an ICO, right? I think last ICO was reviewed was like 30%. Ripple, it has a huge amount owned by it's like another currency, is a huge amount owned by them as like an extreme opposite example, of like 60% owned by the development team. And so, 10% owned by the development team sounds like a pretty low amount, and generally indicates that they want their token to be out there and used by people.
Right, exactly. Some notes about the ICO itself. People from America cannot participate in this ICO, unfortunately. So, cough, cough, VPN, cough, cough. But, that's another story.
Be careful,
right. So, they say that they don't want Americans basically because the way Americans tax, essentially, which is a whole other thing, they just don't like the fact that Americans think it's kind of a fad and they think that it's not real. That's basically what it comes down to. So they just want to protect themselves from anything that can go down, especially because the different states have different rules and regulations. It's just a headache. Anyway, back to what the actual project is going to be. So if you are interested in investing in this, one thing is that the minimum contribution accepted during any period of the EOS token distribution period is 0.01 ETH. So you kind of have to have that amount, and smaller amounts will not be accepted. So you make sure that you do that. Another thing is that some of the people that are on the EOS team created BitShares and Steemit. So I don't know if you know what Steemit is like blowing up right now, and
I heard about it. Like, sorry to interrupt, but like it was mentioned in the Weiss papers as like the highest rated. I had never heard of it, honestly, which is probably looks bad for me, but I never heard of it until it was mentioned.
No, it's blowing up. And my friend, he was like, dude, get in Steemit. I'm like, there's so many things to get into. Like, I didn't really look into it, but like now it's like $7, $10, and he told me to get into it, and it was like minus $1. So I feel stupid, but it's a really cool platform, and it's basically like Medium, if you've ever been on medium.com, but you can kind of blog and you get points plus you get paid to do it. So like if people upvote your articles, you get money for that. And you get something called Steam Power as well. Don't take my word for all this stuff, go out and research it, but it's a really cool platform. But the fact that they have someone on this team that has created Steam, it's really cool. So that's a good point, because you want people who have some track record, who have some type of validity inside of the industry. You don't want just random people doing stuff. So when you have someone that has created something and it's viable, works, and it's a good bonus. So let's see. So, excuse me, the ICO is going to be divided into two phases. Period 1 distributes 20% of EOS. Period 2 distributes 70%. And I actually think that we are seeing a period happen right now, which is why another reason why I think this is going up. Because if you see on your screen right now, it says current distribution ends in 8 hours, 39 minutes, and 8 seconds. That's part of the reason why this is going up so crazy. People want those tokens, and again, it's proof of stake. So the more tokens you own, the more power you have, essentially. So it's a great time to get in. But one thing I didn't like about their website, to be honest with you, is that their roadmap is not clearly outlined. Like, you have to scroll down, and then
That's
it's like
fair.
it's hidden here. Like, I for like a company, I would like to see the roadmap like on the header at least, or somewhere where I can easily access it. But that's like a minor thing. That's just like my opinion on the website. But overall, I think it's a great project. I think that the company is kind of transparent in terms of what they're going to do. One thing that people I was reading and doing some research is that if you look at their terms of service, or if you look at like their FAQ, they say that EOS, basically they don't say what they're going to do with the money, so they can use the money at their own discretion. Sometimes, ICOs normally have like some type of chart or something that says 20% of the funds is going here, 30%. They don't even have that. So I guess some people can think that's weird. But I feel like we're in this, it's a wild, wild west, I mean, if you believe in the project and invest, if you don't, then don't. It's pretty much what it comes down to. Overall, I think it's a great project. In my opinion, I think that the way we're going with like the web 4.0 route, apparently, I think that the DApp industry is going to blow up. And once we have those tools like EOS to kind of give us a leg up when developing these apps, I think that a lot of new people will come welcomely, right? Like, if we have more tools, then people will be like, "Oh, this isn't as hard as I thought." Whereas now it's kind of like, this is so complicated. I have no idea what I'm doing. It kind of relates back to what PundyX is trying to do in terms of making it more available to the average person. And that's how that's how we evolve as people. Is like, we have to have those tools. People have to create the tools, and then people use the tools and create new tools, and like it keeps going. So I think EOS that's what they're trying to do, is kind of bring more people into the industry with dApps and applications. So that's pretty much it. Do you have anything? What do you think about it? You think overall it's a great project, right? Pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's a good project. I'll give you one negative I see, one thing I really like, and then some closing thoughts.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, to go back to the web page comment, I agree that I don't see both your comment about the roadmap and I don't see
the team, right?
Yeah, and maybe I don't see where they outline who's on the team, and
right.
Most of these have blurbs about who's the advisors, the dev team, that kind of stuff, and that's kind of a negative, right? You want to just be able to check and say, all right, this guy has done this and this. He's worked in these already major cryptocurrencies, or he's been part of this exchange, that kind of stuff,
right?
And not seeing that it's kind of like, well, why wouldn't you list that? And so that's kind of a negative to me.
No, I totally agree.
But I think, as a positive, just looking at their social media influence, I just checked their Twitter. They have almost 100,000 followers on Twitter.
Wow, that's huge.
Which is, compared to a bunch of other cryptocurrencies, that's a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
And so that kind of reach, especially for something that's, even though the ICO has been going on for a while, something that's just in the ICO stage, having 100K Twitter followers, assuming they're all legitimate, is a huge social media reach. And I think that's a pretty good sign for the health of the company, or at least the belief that people have in the company, or the product they're trying to produce.
Right.
And I think you made a great point that crypto is A, in kind of its nascent stages, but B, people, most of that is because people just don't understand it, or they don't want to understand it.
Correct.
Right? They don't see the applications, and because the application, blockchain tech isn't simple, and and how you apply this very complex concept to businesses and the world itself, that gets pretty tough for people that have really no experience in it whatsoever, right? And so the ability for a company to say, here, we can make this more simple for you, or we can make your business more efficient, and we make it easy, that's a very big thing. And the ability to do that, if they're successful in doing that, could yield huge dividends.
Right.
And so I think, obviously, when choosing to invest in, I need to read the white paper fully. Coming into this, kind of format as I know nothing and you educate me. And I think that's, for my opinion on the white paper, I don't really have one right now. But I think it, like just a quick glance, it looks very thorough. It looks like they know what they're talking about, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think it's important for everyone to do their own research and obviously understand that crypto is kind of the Wild West right now, as you said. People will always try and sell you something. Don't just take our word for it.
100%.
Very, very important to read the white paper yourself. Evaluate everything, get different opinions, and then if you say, all right, this is a great project, I really like it, then that's something you'd want to invest in.
Yeah. Yep, I 100% agree with you. So I don't think there's anything else I wanted to say. Oh, back to your point about the team. Apparently they're owned by a company called Block.one, which is not evident because there's nothing here that says that besides the little, if you do research you'll find out. But Block One is basically just, I guess, a group of people who want to decentralize everything. That's their main thing. But yeah, so go out, do some research, check out Block One, see what they're about, go read the white paper, go look at their GitHub, go look at their Twitter, their Facebook, etc. And take it upon yourself to make the investment or not. We'll be back next week for another review. And if you guys like this type of content, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, definitely subscribe to our channel because we got some good things coming. If you have any suggestions of how we can make this better for you guys, if you want, some other type of content, let us know as well because we're definitely looking for suggestions. And thank you guys so much for viewing. Is there anything else, Alex? That's it, right?
That's it for me, yeah.
All right, guys, we'll see you next week. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Peace out.